Hello, I'm Warren Martin, and this is Wednesday, Face Today. And on Wednesdays, we talk about accepting responsibility. Yesterday, we talked about focusing on the truth of the fact that God loves you, focusing on the truth of the fact that we need to turn our butts around, say things the right way, and live in truth. And that's really what we're talking about all this week, is we're talking about saying the right things and living in truth. And what's amazing to me is how many people will say, you know, Warren, is what you say really that important? I mean, it's what you do that really matters. Is what you say really that important? Well, here's your little experiment that you can do. Go up to somebody today and say, you know what, you are just about the ugliest person I've ever seen. And see what that does to their outlook. See how they respond to that. And you tell me, do words really matter? Of course they matter. And we understand that when we're talking about other people. That's why we're so careful about what we say to other people. Yet, if I were to get into your mind, I would hear you saying things that you would to yourself that you would never say to your worst enemy. In fact, I'm pretty sure your mama would wash your mouth out with soap if she heard some of the things that you were saying to yourself. We have to accept responsibility for the way that we talk, not only to other people, but how we talk to ourselves. Because how we talk to ourselves will really dictate how well we're able to navigate life. And James is very clear. In James chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, it says, "But no man can tame the tongue. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless God and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceed blessings and cursings. My brethren, these things ought not to be so." The fact is our mouth blesses and curses sometimes in the same breath. And we need to accept responsibility for what we're saying to other people, what we're saying to our children and to our families, and most importantly, what we're saying to ourselves. Now then, I say most importantly right there because it's what we say to ourselves that determines what we say to other people. It's how we act towards ourselves that determines how we act towards other people. And the more you talk yourself down, the more you denigrate yourself, the more that you will denigrate others, the more that you will talk down to others. There has to come a point in time where we accept responsibility for ourselves, turn our butts around, say things the right way, and begin talking to ourselves as we are instructed to talk to ourselves by God. Instead of looking in the mirror and say, "Oh man, I can't believe I got to wake up to this again." Looking in the mirror and seeing ourselves from God's perspective, seeing ourselves as the children of God, seeing who we are and who we've been created to be in Him, and then talk to ourselves from that perspective. Talk to ourselves in accordance with who God says we are. And when we do that, we'll begin talking to others the way God desires to talk to them, and God will begin working through our lives to reach others through the way that we speak. And that is how we're enabled to face today.